Hello and welcome to another episode of Double Barrel Gaming. I'm your host, MrBooMStickXL, and on today's episode, we're going to be discussing the future of Xbox and how bright it's turning out to be. Since E3 2018, Xbox and its fans have been on a high that hasn't been seen in years. Being an Xbox fan in this generation has been tough, especially if you follow mainstream media. Smaller YouTube channels like mine have been towing the line for Xbox since the beginning of this generation, and it looks like all of the hard work is about to pay off. It was recently disclosed that not only are we going to have the traditional piece of hardware for the next generation, but Microsoft would be investing in a streaming service that offers the ability to pay a quarter of the price but still maintain the same great Xbox services. This of course would come with low latency and a way to make sure that all of the games that streamed played as if they were discs. Traditionally, such cloud gaming service meant that you need a fantastic internet connection and or nearby servers in order to avoid lag. But in a recent article by Thurrott.com, they are reporting that Microsoft has hit upon an intriguing technique to reduce the latency in games being streamed. This technique will slice each game so that part of it runs in the cloud and the other part runs locally. And then the magic of the Microsoft Azure servers can stitch them back together. It's this kind of forward thinking that has me absolutely beside myself with excitement on what Microsoft is going to do in the next generation of consoles. Now that we've discussed hardware and why it's time to get excited, let's talk about the games. If you've been following me for a while, I have been extremely vocal about how poor the first-party games have been for the Xbox brand. Sure, we had games like Quantum Break, Rise Son of Rome, and Sunset Overdrive, and since then, we've had incredible titles like Forza Horizon 3, Gears of War 4, and Halo 5 had the amazing Warzone multiplayer. We also can't forget Super Lucky's Tale, PUBG, the amazing Cuphead, and Forza Motorsport 7. But if you look at what Sony has done with their first-party division in the last 24 months, there's no comparison, and you can't argue that fact. But all of that is about to change for the better, and Microsoft's future is as bright as it's ever been. The importance of the announcement that they created a quadruple A studio called The Initiative and the purchase of Ninja Theory, Playground Games, Undead Labs, and Compulsion Games cannot be understated. As soon as Phil Spencer was done announcing the purchase of those 4 studios and the creation of a brand new one, he started doing interviews and he disclaimed that the Microsoft Corporation was far from done when it came to purchasing other developers to add to their first-party roster. This news excited Xbox fans across the globe, but also proved that Microsoft and Phil Spencer had drew a line in the sand and they weren't going to lose in the next generation. Now we're hearing that Microsoft may be in line to purchase Obsidian, which is a fantastic RPG maker and falls directly in line with a statement from Matt Booty where he stated that Microsoft was interested in purchasing AA studios to add to their first-party roster. But thankfully, the good news continues for Microsoft and its fans because they have been on a hiring tear not seen in this generation. Some of the talent that they have acquired have worked on this industry's biggest titles such as Metal Gear Solid, Grand Theft Auto 5, The Division, and Tomb Raider, just to name a few. But the hit parade continues because Daryl Gallagher, who is the studio head at The Initiative, made an incredible announcement over the weekend. On top of snatching up Brian Westergaard, who was the lead producer for God of War, they also acquired Annie Lore, Christian Cantamessa, Blake Fisher, Daniel Newberger, and Lindsay McQueenie. All top-tier talent that is now working with Microsoft. This is now the 3rd round of major hiring that Microsoft has done in the last few months. If you had any doubts as to how serious Microsoft is taking the next generation, all of this internal recent activity should give you peace of mind. If Phil Spencer and Microsoft have it their way, the next generation will be dominated by the Xbox brand, and I cannot wait to see that happen. Before I end today's video, I'd like to tell you about a new project that the Welsh Gamer and I have come up with. On Thursday, August 16th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be launching a new Xbox-centric show called the Xbox Factor Podcast. It's going to be a weekly show on Thursday that runs roughly around 60 minutes in length. I hope to see you there in the chat. With today's video being all about Xbox and its bright future, I'm interested to hear what you have to say. Please leave all opinions in the comment section below. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Double Barrel Gaming. If you enjoyed today's episode, please hit that like button, share this video on social media, and consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks again for watching. Have an awesome day.